Hello guys, welcome to another video, and this is another one on the Panda. So I'm going to be fitting the cruise control from this company here. I haven't seen any videos of this particular cruise control being fitted to a Panda, so I thought I'd do a little video of me fitting it. I mean, it's very much the same as the other videos, but I thought might as well do one for the actual Panda 4x4. And pandas in general. So this is the kit I've got. You get the module, which is this part here, which is what does all the sort of controlling between your throttle pedal, which is the loom here, and then you've got your actual stalk, which goes here, and then this is your power, which is an additional kind of part to the kit, but I think it makes your life easier. And I may also do a video where I properly hardwire this into the car, but for now I'm going to do it this way just for ease and also just to see how I get on with it. You also will have to cut into your sort of lower binnacle here to fit the cruise control, but that's not too difficult, and I'll show you exactly how I do that. So I'll show you how to disassemble it. So if I bring you in, so as you can see there's two little holes up there, and on this Panda they are the size 3mm Allen key size, so they go up in here, and you can probably see it better than I can, so I'm just trying to locate them, which are just up there, and then they just undo, and this basically separates this lower half from the upper half of the sort of steering column part, like so. So very small little bolt there, putting that in the cup holder, and then there's another one, same one, same 3mm Allen on this side, so it just unscrews like so. It just comes out. It's just a tiny little one. I don't know how well you're going to see this, but we're going with it. And then I'm just going to take the key out of the ignition just so it's out of the way, and then supposedly you get onto both sides of this, and it should, in theory, just separate, but it's always in theory. It should just come apart. Let me get a little tool. Jam that down in there a bit, and it should just come off. There's a little bit of a gap down the back there. There we are. Right, I'm going to release the bit there as well for the adjustment. It gives me a little bit more room. Just kind of just work the plastic about. It's a little bit of a cold day as well, so I'll break things, and then that just comes off there, like so. And then this is what we will be drilling into that plastic shroud. So now we've got the bottom of this exposed. We've got this connector here, which we'll need to access in a moment, where we'll be taking the, I believe it's the orange one. I can start the manual. Oh no, so it's going to be the blue ignition connector, which is good because it doesn't seem to have one. It goes up here. No, that looks like that's for the light for the actual ring on it. This is a good start. it might be on this side here actually, on that blue connector there, perhaps. Well, yeah, that looks like it because it's got a grey one next to it. Because you'll have to fuse tap into that, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. And then the other thing you have to do, which I will do now, is let's move you out the car. So this little panel here, you just yank it, and it's designed to come off. Sounds like you've broken it, but you haven't. Or you shouldn't do. And then that is where the OBD2 port is. Don't worry about all these other cables. These are for my other modifications on the vehicle, so you probably haven't got any of that. But that's where we're going to plug in our little OBD thing. So what I'm going to do is pop you here for a second. So we've got our little plastic shroud here, which clips on. And what I want to do is work out where I'm going to have the stalk, which I believe I want to have it kind of somewhere about there perhaps, just so it's not in the way of my knee, and obviously your adjuster is along this side here, so you don't want to get in the way of that. But we can go down and we can do the accelerator next. I think that'll be the next good port, of course. So I'll pause the video here and we'll cut to that. Before I forget as well, I would advise disconnecting the battery just as you're undoing stuff. It may bring up fault codes. And on these pandas, very easy, little button here on the negative, push that in and you lift it straight off the top there, tap that down, out the way there, and that keeps that out of the way. So if we come back into the vehicle, we can go underneath the dashboard and get down to the accelerator pedal. So I'm doing a bit of handheld one-handed here, so you've got, bear with me. So you've got your accelerator pedal, which is this one here. It's got a connector on the top here, which the little pull tab comes towards you, I think. Yes, it's got two modes of locking, which doesn't seem to on the new one. But it should, in theory, just come, yeah, that's come towards me, and as you do that it pushes itself up and then comes off like that. And then this is your little sort of piggyback or splicing connector part here. So one end, so this, the end with the little push-in tab, replaces where it goes onto the top of the accelerator, which I will try and use my other hand because then you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So that end will go onto the top of the accelerator. It might be easier to see through there, or it might not because my hand's blocking all the light, but you just pop the sort of ready orange tab on like so, make sure that's pushed down, and then you give the tab, push it down, hear a click, and then you push the tab inwards like that, and then that seats all the way down like so. And then the other end of this connector connects on to the harness, which you'll have to bear with me, and that basically goes on, if I can do it one-handedly. This is a little bit awkward, let's get down that way. It's a little bit hard to do this one-handed. Yeah, so that goes on exact same as when you're doing it on the accelerator. You should have the new one with the orange tab on it, and then up here like that you should have the other one connected up to the kind of car side, or to the ECU of the car. So it's like that, and then I will tidy this all up afterwards. And then on the other end you're going to have your connector there, which goes to the ECU for the actual cruise control, and then the other one has the red wire which is going to go to the ignition. So I'm going to pause the video very quickly here, and then I'm going to move those bits into place. So there's quite a big recess here which you can put the wire up, so I just went behind here, and I'm also going to put the ECU box onto this plate here on the back of it. I'll probably use some double-sided number plate stickies just to adhere it onto this, and you won't be able to see it. And then I'll strip this wire back. That will go into the blue ignition connector here, so I'll probably neatly tuck it backwards like so, and then that will all be hidden behind the dash. It has also got a fuse here. I am also probably going to do a video of wiring it up to the fuse box. I'll have to do some testing first just to see if you don't need to do this part of it. If that works, then I'll do a video on that and I'll show you how to do that. Because in theory, this is just taking an ignition live, so that the box knows not to just draw power all the time. Because if you connect this to a permanent live, it will just draw and draw and draw and draw. The other place, obviously, you could connect it to is into your cigarette lighter, especially on these pandas and 500s. They do only come on with ignition, but I will have to do some checking around on that. But for the minute, I'm going to fuse tap it, or not fuse, wire tap it into the blue wire there, as indicated for the instruction manual. So I'll come back to you once I've done that. So I've just done the wire splice here. So all you do is you strip the wire back like you normally would, and then these are my little cut-ins, or whatever you want to call them. A lot of the wiring people don't like them, but for this job they're perfect. So you push in your red wire, and then there's like a metal tab in there. You push that down, it cuts into the blue wire, and then you close it all up. So it just puts like a slit into it. So if I grab one that's not been done, to just show you what they look like. They're just good for this sort of thing, and you're also fused as well. So that's a little bit there. As you can see, you push that in, it's almost like a guillotine. That cuts into the wire, and then the little locking tab holds it all in place. So that is all in place there, and I did disconnect it. So all that needs doing now is that can be plugged back in. Go in just like that, and the little wire is behind there. And then this can go behind the dashboard just down here, and that can just tuck down there for the minute, and then I'll tidy that up. So I've marked the hole that I'm going to drill about there. It says in the instructions to use a 10mm drill bit, which is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to put it onto drill mode, which is on, and then push the little spikes. It's a wood drill bit. Push that in. Just gently go through. Like that. Just wipe away the excess, which can be filed off or whatever, just however you want to neaten that off. But for me, that'll be okay at the moment. Then next you grab your cruise control, which I've unpackaged, and the wires on the end are kind of de-pinned as they're not actually in a harness, obviously, to get this all through. So you take off the nut off the end, like so, like that. Then take the crush washer, or the little, I don't know if those are crush washers, but the sort of weirdly shaped one. And then you also take the little angled piece off, like so. So they come off, and then plastic might stay on it, or it might not. Don't think it will. So that should come away like that, and just make sure those you don't lose them, because you need them. So I'm just going to pop those on the mat there, and then I'm going to grab my cruise control here, and I'm going to stick the wiring through the hole that I've drilled in the plastic here. Just pull that through, like so, and then that will slot in like so. And then you angle the sort of angle piece here, you just angle it, obviously, so it best kind of lines up with the plastic housing part, so it's kind of as flush as you can make it. So that's kind of as flush as I can make it, like that, which is fine. And then you get your other bits you've just taken off, so your little kind of weird angled bit, which I think goes on with the angle inwards, so the kind of the other bit of it's flat, angle bits inwards, and then your little weird washer, and those go through there like so. Wiggle that down, and then your little nut, which isn't a locking nut or anything. Guess you could make it a locking nut, but it's not really gonna come off, I wouldn't imagine. But if you're really worried about it, you could put either a bit of thread lock on the end of it or use a nylock nut. I've also just remembered brought the wrong tool out for doing the tightening, but it's okay. Then again, on the inside here, just try and line that up so it kind of is the most flush against inside the plastic. And I've just seen I've done it right where there's a bit of the kind of inlay bit that goes on there. So you've got one washer on there, little spacer, second washer, and then the little nut there. And that looks about right there. I believe it's a 12mm spanner, so I'll go and grab one. Okay, so I've grabbed it's actually a 14mm spanner, so I've grabbed that. So you just kind of want to hold that in place, just nip it up. Obviously it's only plastic, so you don't need to go crazy with it. If you do, you'll end up breaking it. Kind of till you've got some resistance, which will be in a minute. It's about there. That's got some resistance on it, like so, and the angle of that isn't too bad. I believe you can adjust it, but you kind of want to get that more or less set up before you do anything. So yeah, so it's just like that, and then we'll move on to the next bit, which I think will be putting the wires on here. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I've looked at the diagram. So you've got two connectors. You've got this one, which is the 12 one, and you've got an 8-pin connector. So what you want to do is you want to get your 12-pin. There's a very good diagram, which is on the piece of paper up there. So you want to grab the orange one, which is this one here, and you want to put that one into the end one, which is this one here, which will go in like so. And they only go in one way. Just working out which ways the way they go in. And the other way. So it goes in and it does click. So the other one to go in this one is the white one, which is this one here, which I will try and move out the way the other ones, which is this one here, and that one goes into the one which is the one in from the left, so that will basically go in that way around, and keep pushing it, and then it just clicks there, and you can pull it and it won't come back out. Don't pull it stupidly hard, but you can give it a fair amount and it shouldn't come out. If it does, then it hasn't gone in all the way. Then in your 8-pin connector, you need your black wire, which is this one here, which goes in to the first one, which should be the same principle. I've got it the right way around. It's the same thing. You just push it in, hear the click, that's it. Then the one that goes next to it is the green one. Same thing, little click. And the final one is the red one, which goes into the one next to that. So that's the same thing, and then they won't come out, so they're all in properly. So that is your actual connector done. So then those will go into the control box, and on the diagram it does show you which ones those go into, just so you know. So that will be into not the very end one, but the one in and the next one along is what those two connect to, which I won't do yet, but I will do in a minute. Also in the pack with one of the connectors is that clip which goes into the side bit here, which I won't do yet, but I'll do that once it's installed into the car and we've got it in the right place. And then I'm going to pop on the next bit, which I'll do now, which is the binnacle, which we've just done the wiring for. So what I'll do is I'm going to just put them wires down the back of here like so. So that's out the way. Let me just move you in a bit closer and adjust you up a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So just drop those wires down the back of there. They should come out the bottom hopefully. They haven't got caught anywhere, because they can go in the bottom and just be out the way really, which might be a bit difficult I think. This panel does come off, but you don't need to take it off, but if you wanted to you could. So we should be able to just pull those wires down the back so they're nicely out of the way. And then I'm going to undo the adjuster for the adjustment on that, and then cut this up. So in reverse of taking off, just making sure that nothing's caught anywhere or damaged or anything, because it's a little bit tight to get everything in place. And then just clipping simply back together, which is easy said and done sometimes on these jobs, because the whole lot's now coming apart, which is brilliant. It does just clip back in, it's just getting everything rolled up either. I'll cut back once I put it back on. So I've just put this back on. There's a bit of a job to do. I believe you have to take this side panel off. I'm not sure about the other side, but it just makes it a bit easier. And then I've just put two, I think they're 3mm. Yeah, 3mm little screws back in there, so that's done. And I have noticed, because I didn't really check it very well, but it is a little bit close to the dashboard here, because I've set it back quite a bit compared to the indicator. But for my driving position, I have the wheel like all the way to the very top, so I can access the back button for the cancel, the reset, set, and it's all okay for me. but obviously it's quite close to dashboard here. But obviously just something to bear in mind where you place it, obviously how close or how far away. But for this application, I'm not too worried about it. It's fine where it is. So yeah, so the next part is literally the easiest bit, I'd say, of doing this. What you need to do is get your power wiring. If you're doing the more advanced wiring it all in, then obviously you've got to get your power and your earth, and you can do that obviously from the OBD, or you can get that from a wire tap. See, that's down to personal preference. So I will wire, I'll get the module, which I've moved somewhere. It's on the floor here. Got the module here. So looking at diagram, this one goes into here like so. Can't really get it wrong because they are all different sizes. Then the next one goes in like that, which is the one with the black, green and red wires. That clicks in there, that one's clicked in there with the red wire on it. Goes into that one there. Yep, goes in like so, that's locked in. And then the final one, the pretty obvious one, is the 2-wire one. So then that goes into your OBD port, one end. If we wire it in to here, so that will go in there like so. And then this one should come out of here like that. And then I'm going to just tuck it up, move you in a bit here. Oops. Just up here, and I will just plug it in to my OBD port, which is there. So it's plugged in like so. And then before I move all that, before I tuck that away, I'm just going to check it works. So I'll put the battery back on and I'll cut back to me turning it on. Okay, so I've just switched the ignition back on, so obviously everything flashes and everything comes up and you've got to reset everything. But just simply to check that it's all connected, I've just moved that over to the left where it says on off, and the little green light comes on, and when you push like reset and stuff, the lights are coming on, so that means that it is working. So yeah, and then you can turn it off like that. So that's all good. So I'm going to just tidy up all the wiring next. So just tidied up all the wiring up here. So bring the light round, you can see I've just cable tied it there, and the module is just tucked up there. Almost looks OEM, but that is all neatly tidied up, tied to the rest of the wiring. There's no wiring going to get into the way of the accelerator pedal, and it's just neatly done there. I was going to put it behind this plate, but wasn't really enough room, but that's all neatly done. So yeah, so I'll do a road test and should it all work, and if it doesn't, you'll see me going, it doesn't work. But yeah, should all be good. So without ado, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one.